Morning, Fractal Effects team. We're just in the middle of the morning analysis. Before we get started, please make sure you check out our disclaimer at fractaleffects.com in the footer section. If you're following along with us today, make sure you're doing a demo account, as this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. So we have a bit of a mixed model today. We have a downside expansion model and a sell model. But at the same time, we have a double break to the upside and we're above the DSD high. US 500 hit a 4-hour fair value gap with the 10 o'clock candle. NAS did not have a 4-hour fair value gap there, but it hit the end dog. So this is technically reversal territory, could fall in suit with the downside expansion in the overall model. But we have to proceed with caution here. For the time being, I am bullish. So when we have a double break, what do we normally look for? We look for a retracement back into one of our key zones. DSD high is right here. Blue zone is right there. Not to mention the N WOG, the new week opening gap, is right below us. We want to hit that, create possibly a 5M bearish fair value gap along the way, have an immediate rebalance, engulfing candle, and then a 5M bullish fair value gap created. That's what I'd like to see. And if it just rips right through and gives us a bearish confirmation, then that's going against our bias. And we'll consider that void, just like yesterday. US 30 already confirmed. I just want to see exactly which direction. So most likely a bearish confirmation for US 30. You can always use this as divergence. Downside expansion model as well. So we already bounced off the DSD low. Remember, this is a very, very powerful zone, and it was right at the 4-hour consequence encroachment. So we knew we were going to get an upward push to take out the manipulation range high. You can use that as an early indicator to tell you which direction the market wants to push, but then, as mentioned before, we had a double break to the upside. That's the dealer revealing their hand. NAS is definitely the stronger of the two pairs. So we did touch the DSD right here. So if this becomes an immediate rebalance, engulfing candle, and then gives us a 5M bullish fair value gap along with this, then we'll be looking for a buy. Right now the 4-hour model and the blue zone are giving us buy signals. but we have to wait. Without that immediate rebalance and without that 5M bullish fair value gap, this thing could just continue to drop. And that's what saves us, right? It either falls in suit with with the direction we want, or it gives us a bearish confirmation, which becomes a void day. Now, if you're wondering why that's void, we don't want these two strategies to contradict each other. They're both very, very powerful strategies. Yesterday was a great example. Yesterday we got a bullish confirmation, but at the same time we had a double break to the downside. And believe it or not, both of those actually ended up happening. We did not break that range during the entire morning session. But then after that morning session, we broke the range. So both strategies were so strong that even though they were contradicting each other, they were both right. NAS did give an upward play. I don't remember if it hit one standard deviation, but it definitely extended outside of the dealing range after the retracement or confirmation retracement extension. And then after that, going into the PM session, it just crashed right through. And that was the biggest move of the day, was that sell. So again, two very, very strong strategies, highly, highly back tested. You don't want them to contradict each other, because if they do, it means it's going to be muddied waters, or you could possibly jump in at the wrong time. So this could be our immediate rebalance. We have about 27 seconds left, but I'm still looking for a 5M bullish fair value gap. I want a foothold. It left a lot of breakaway gaps here. And on US 500, as mentioned before, since we hit that 4-hour fair value gap, which isn't on NAS 100, but we do have an NDOG in its place. Remember, when you're finding divergent pairs, you'll always find levels that are not the same levels, but they represent the same strength. An NDOG is a very, very powerful range that the market could reject from. Here we have a 4-hour. So if we get a 5M bullish fair value gap, this could be an opportunity here. Kind of proceed with caution. Since we have a long wick here, we most likely will not get one on US 500. I guess same thing here. Just got to remain calm, patient. Look for the patterns. Today was another day where there was no high impact news drivers. They use these days to reprice the markets, but it does also make for a lot of consolidation, a lot of back and forth, what they call seek and destroy, just taking liquidity before returning to fair value. Fair value is represented by NDOG, could be represented by the NWOG, and also true day open, which is marked out by the indicator. A little hard to see through all these boxes that we painted out today. Let's remove it for just a second. There's true day open right there. And you can change this in the settings. You can make it a thicker line. You can do whatever you'd like with it. This is why we wait. Still just a lot of back and forth. Having a tough time getting past this point. No 5M bearish fair value gap created here either. This is still part of our retracement. NAS having a tough time getting past the DSD high. So that lets us know that they want to collect a little bit more liquidity here. We're back at the NYC fair value gap. If US 500, well, I guess it did, sorry. Yeah, so it tapped NYC fair value gap. We have not broken the DSD high here. That's a good sign that this wants to push up. Let's see if we get an immediate rebalancing candle here. About 10 minutes away from 11. Still need to get a 5M bullish fair value gap now. Three minutes, 44 seconds left. 1 minute, 19 seconds left. Right at the end dog, and right at that 4 hour, we want to punch right through this. US 500, definitely the weaker pair. But the fact that we're still above the DSD high, and we went down here to collect more liquidity. This thing wants to push up, but we need a foothold. Wait for the foothold. Let's see if this fair value gap stays open. Three minutes left. We want to see this fair value gap stay open. There's your bullish confirmation. It's getting ready for. Now be cognizant, we still haven't gotten over this 4 hour fair value gap. So the fact that we just took out this liquidity, remember this is the stronger pair. And we're hitting a daily fair value gap up here. Goal is to get a foothold, strong foothold, and then aim for that green line right there. We have to get a good entry. One minute, 52 seconds left. I want to see this fair value gap stay open. And then that green line, when you put it over US 500, becomes the high for US 500. Remember, always pair up levels here to here. They're going to be different levels, but they will pair up. So we need the market to come back here. Otherwise there is no foothold, and this thing could just keep running from here. I'm hoping it uses this daily fair value gap to drive us down into this 5M. 56 seconds left. "13 seconds left, so we will most likely leave this open. We have our DR confirmation. Now this retracement hopefully will bring us back into our 5M fair value gap, maybe even a little lower to tap the 20 and then push up from. Just be mindful that we don't leave another fair value gap, tap it, and then just jet off from here too. We are above the blue zone, we're right at the purple zone. Or sorry, 4-hour fair value gap. Be patient. Wait for a retracement. Just want to see a 5M fair value gap be created. One of these two pairs will give us a setup here. 2 minutes, 23 seconds left. One minute 58. This is where most people get FOMO and just jump in. And again, it could just continue to jump up from here, but there's no foothold here. There's a foothold here, but we still have to wait for a retracement and then a confirmation on a lower time frame. But there's really no juice to be squeezed if this was our target. I'm not saying it can't go higher, but we're sitting inside of a daily fair value gap. That's more or less my target. There's previous day's high right there. I'd like to aim for this. Same thing over here. Not sure if we'll make it to previous day high. We're tapping this. This is a 15 M fair value gap that was marked out from, I think, Monday. Remember, we still have no confirmation here on US 500. We're still sitting at that 4-hour fair value gap. So now we've left this fair value gap open. I want to see it tap. There's a purple zone here as well, and there's your end dog. But we need to see it come into one of these zones, do a proper retracement, and then give us a 1M bullish fair value gap. It could even most likely retrace all the way back down to the 20 EMA. It's got to proceed with caution here. There's no point in jumping in here. There's no point in getting FOMO. There's not enough room here for your 1 to 3 risk to reward. There is from here. You get in from here or even here, and there's enough room to possibly take it to the previous day high. So wait for that retracement. Remember, this is not a fair value gap, has not been created yet. This is the first one. If it doesn't give you that foothold, you didn't miss out. Capital preservation. That's our main priority. Now we have both of these strategies lining up. We have a bullish confirmation, we have a double break to the upside, and even on our 4-hour model, we have a continuation. Now we just need a good foothold. 2 minutes, 26 seconds left. Let's see a retracement. Even if it takes this high, it's fine. I still want to see a retracement and see if it sets us up to take out the previous day's high. So it's already crossed. I believe this was a 4-hour high. And we're at a 15 M fair value gap. And we're also above the 4-hour here. Still, until they give you a foothold, this is just an extremely bullish market right now. You can't catch a runaway freight train. Or do you want to stand in front of it? We need for it to tap one of these areas. Here comes the bullish confirmation. 1 minute left. As soon as this confirms, we could get that retracement. Sometimes it waits for the diverging pair to get up there as well. See how it's sitting in the 15-minute fair value gap? See how it's sitting in a purple zone? Not a coincidence. As I mentioned before, both diverging pairs will find zones and areas. They're not going to be the same, but they will line up. 28 seconds left. I want to see this confirmation stick. We need to see some kind of a retracement. There's your confirmation. Right now, the closest fair value gap is still this one, this sliver down here. It's got to give us some kind of a retracement. After confirmation, there's an 85% chance that we will get a retracement. Back to, at the very least, the dealing range. Dealing range high is right here, right inside the purple zone. There's a fair value gap here, and there's a fair value gap here. So I want to see it touch one of those. And hopefully it does it within the next 20 minutes. That's our window of opportunity. Just going to mark this out. This is the first, or rather I should say the closest fair value gap, 5M fair value gap. Then obviously we have one down here. We could even grab them both. That is our foothold. If it gives it to us, we are interested. If it does not, then we don't miss out on anything. This fair value gap is not yet formed, with the target being previous day's high. One minute, 55 seconds left. I'd like to see it not leave open another fair value gap. Otherwise, then it might just make that run. Because once it hits previous day high, there's also a weekly fair value gap up here as well. And I really wouldn't be interested in trying to take a position that high away from the dealing range without a retracement. This at least puts us back in contention. This is the dealing range. We can tap that at the very least. Again, still driving up. It'll most likely leave this fair value gap open right at the 15. Ten seconds left. We're right at the end dog. So that's actually previous day's high for US 500. This is just Asia high, but Asia high lines up with previous day's high for NAS. So we left this fair value gap open as well. So we'll call up the ticker tape if it comes into this zone, but if it turns around here, I'm personally not interested. That's not enough of a risk to reward for me. I'm just going to mark out this fair value gap now. Pretty much right at the midpoint of this 15M fair value gap. We're inverse now. Need to see it tap something. Otherwise, this is just a unanchored floating trade. I'm hoping it rips right through this, actually. Rips right through this and comes into here. That's what we'd like to see. It's giving the 20 EMA enough time to get into this fair value gap. Mark this out as well. Get rid of this Fibonacci. Drop down into the 1M. Got about 10 minutes left in our stream. I'm hoping to get something here. As mentioned before, I'd like to see it cut through here. If it bounces off here again, we'll give you the ticker tape. I'll read that for you. But I'm not interested. I'd like to see it cut through and drop back into this zone. About 9 minutes left. And we're obviously getting this kind of price action because there is no news today. This entire week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there was no high impact news driver. I believe we have one small one tomorrow. And then I think same thing with Friday, there's nothing. Doesn't mean there hasn't been decent price action. Just means that the footholds that we're trying to get into in order to climb this market or descend, they haven't always been tapped. So once it hits this, what we're looking for is a 1M bullish fair value gap to be created and then tapped. About 7 minutes left. We need to see it tap here. I'd preferably like to see a cut through hit this. A lot of zones here, and it gives you enough room for growth since the target is just previous day high. Neither NAS or US 500 have hit that 5M fair value gap yet, but that's the next move. We want to see it tap and then create a 1M bullish fair value gap and then tap that. If it leaves without us, it leaves without us. Remember, capital preservation is our main priority. So again, it's moving up. Without that foothold, we don't have anything. 5 minutes left in our stream. So this will be the last 5M candle. It has not tapped any 5M fair value gap yet. This is what we call a runaway. So there's no 5M fair value gap created there. So until it taps here, or cuts through and taps down here, there's nothing to, there's no foothold here as of right now. And we want to make sure that happens in our window of opportunity. Remember, if you're not in a high probability trade setup 1 hour after the range formation, then just call it. Go after work, go to the gym, whatever it is that you do. You don't want to sit here staring at the market. That's what we teach. Our system is, not only are you waiting for high probability trade setups, 70% or higher, anything lower than that is gambling. We are not gamblers. We come into the market, we execute, and we leave. And we're not going to sit here watching the market for hours on end like most people do. 1 hour. It's the only trading strategy where you could still have a day job. 3 different sessions. Strategy works the same across all of them. Over the last 48 days, we've either had a win or we have not taken a trade at all. Yesterday was a great example. All of our confluence literally told us it was going to be a void day, it was going to push late, and it was exactly on point. Obviously got a little messy here. We had to paint out a lot of boxes. But once you understand the strategy, this is all you really need. All of these levels begin to more or less just give you a bias. Like you just look at it and you know what the directional bias is. You don't even see these boxes anymore. And the beautiful thing about this indicator is it paints out every single key zone except for the higher time frame fair value gaps. That you got to go and mark up, but we show you how to do that with the higher time frame analysis. Other than that, every single level you've ever wondered, where's previous day high? Where's true day open? Where are the algorithmic zones that the market is drawn to? Where's new day opening gap? Where's new week opening gap? How far could this market possibly extend? All of that is right here. And once you get used to it, you just see a directional bias. It's pretty much like the matrix. So still no foothold, 41 seconds left. Come back later in the afternoon, evening, whenever you get a chance. This is your homework. I want to check, see if the market did retrace back to here or here. And if it gave you a 1M bullish fair value gap, tap that and then a closure over the series of candles, and that would have been the entry. But obviously, as mentioned before, if it doesn't happen in your window of opportunity, then you're done for the day. Capital preservation, first and foremost. There'll be another trade set up tomorrow. There'll be another one on Friday. Don't get FOMO. Don't jump in just because you think you have to. Day trading is not everyday trading. So that's our time. Check us out on fractaleffects.com, where we teach high probability trading. Please hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you know when we're live. We'll be live again tomorrow. Check us out on social media, fractal.effects. That's effects with an E and ends with an S.